Let's talk about Ultros first. I have been playing this game on my OLED Steam Deck.
What is that?
It looks gorgeous on it because look at the art style. Very it's very interesting. I don't dig it that much, but I don't think it's ugly. But it's yeah. So this game is a Metroidvania, and a lot of times when you hear Metroidvania, you're like, okay, yeah, I've played a billion of those. Like I know what to expect. But what this one does, I think, is really interesting. Is it kind of puts itself up to being a freeform Metroidvania, and what I mean by that is so it kind of has a Shadow of the Colossus setup where you have like a hub area and you go and fight a boss, and then you fight the boss and then you go back and then you like appear back at the hub. But what this does is it takes away your powers after you get back to your hub. So you lose all your powers, which is a really interesting thing. But what's cool is you eat these bugs and fruit and things like that that'll increase your stats, which you can then use to level up certain skills. So these skills are really important for how you maneuver, go through levels, and like go around the whole world. So essentially, you kind of go back, lose all your stuff, and you're like, okay, I have to level up again, but I also have to be aware of where the map is and what is in my way, so I know what to level up and what to unlock in my skill tree. So there's all these bosses spread out, and it's like you have to have map awareness and you have to keep an eye on what powers are in your tree. There's like a sprawling tree for you to unlock all these things, like a double jump or a certain like block or certain attack you might need to like hit a certain thing on a baddie, or just like all these things. So it's a really interesting twist on the Metroidvania kind of thing, because it's like no matter like so it just like you can approach it in so many different ways, and I think that's really cool for a game like this because usually it's a pretty similar unlocking path for every person who plays this, but you could just play it potentially in a completely different way from every other person that you know who's like playing it, which is super cool. um I think it gets lost in the weeds a little bit. Here's the skill tree. It's big. But I think it gets lost in the weeds a little bit going towards the end because there's just like so much you need to remember. But it is pretty rewarding after you kind of get through it. But yeah, that is Ultros. It's definitely worth checking out. I will say, if you like these types of games, you want to see something new, definitely play it. Oh, and the music's by what's his name? I have it written down. Huervo, the guy who did Hotline Miami soundtrack. He did this, so yeah, it's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And the combat feels really good too. I think
I was gonna ask about that.
Yeah, they really so it has these directional kind of inputs. So you have like your like up attack and your forward attack and like down attack, and then you can unlock attack strings through your skill tree. You also have a dodge. If you perfect dodge, you get like little combo attack for free on the people you're fighting. And yeah, it's definitely a solid game. It's just
Excellent.
it expects a lot out of you, which is cool.